Hello my Luminites, it is Ivy and welcome back to my channel, or if you are new here, hello, my name is Ivy, also known as Intuitive IVM here on this channel and also on intuitiveivy.com where I do tarot and oracle card readings. So if you are interested, this channel is all about the magical, the mystical, the spiritual, and the supernatural. So if that's all something that you are interested in, then go ahead and consider hitting that subscribe button and turning on that notification bell. So today we are doing another video about my most used decks of 2020. This one is going to be all about my most used oracle decks. So I already created one about my most used tarot decks of 2020, so I will put that up here somewhere and also down below in the description in case you want to watch that one. Let's go ahead and get started. Coming in at number 10 are my Archtype cards, and this is by Myss. Now, when I first got this deck, I'm going to be honest, it's one that I thought I wasn't going to be reaching for that often, just because it has a lot to do with qualities and like careers. So I thought this was going to be a deck that I only used for like life purpose readings, but I was very pleasantly surprised to find that I use this deck quite often, even in just regular standard general readings. With this deck, you get a few blank cards, so you can list your own archetype or your own career, and then it's light qualities and it's dark qualities. I just use the ones that are already pre-made for me. When I feel the urge to create something new, I will put them down there. But for now, these are fine for me. So they look like this: visionary, a healer. So as you can see, it has its light attributes. So its light attributes are passion to serve others by repairing the body, mind, and spirit, ability to help transform pain into healing. Its shadow attributes for this career or this archetype would be taking advantage of those who need help, failing to care for one's self. I tend to not really use the shadow attributes unless the card lands upside down. That's when I use the shadow attributes, kind of like a, reverse tarot card. But other than that, I just read the light attributes. And I was surprised that I actually use this card quite frequently, because it's not just careers, and I thought it was just going to be careers. It has a lot of like qualities, like the victim. You have the vampire, which is like an energy sucking vampire. You have the pioneer, like just different things, like a magical child, just different attributes and different like kind of like personality types almost, that I really like this deck, and I find myself using it a lot, especially in readings. Coming in at number 9. This is, again, one that I use very, very frequently, but more specifically, I tend to just use this in love readings, and it is the Love Oracle number 1 and they have like a few different colors. So they have like a black with white writing, they have like a pink with like black writing, and then they have like a black with a gray writing. The one that I got was just like the black and white writing. This is a deck that's very simple. Has just the logo of like the brand that makes it in the back, and then in the front, very simple, just like card name and then a picture and then like description of it. But I find that these are so good when it comes to love readings. Like, you get so many channeled messages in love readings with these cards. Like, this is a deck that I feel like there's a few times that it's kind of like not vibing with the love energy, and I get some weird cards that just don't really fit in there. But most of the time that doesn't happen. Most of the time it's pretty spot on. And when I'm getting those funky cards that I know shouldn't be in there, I just just shuffle again and try again, and after that I usually get one that's pretty more accurate to the reading. So, for example, we have seduction here, and we have attraction, flirting, dating, hooking up, temptation, third-party interference. So it has, I love that even though this is like a love deck, it's not just all like, cupcakes and rainbows. It has both sides. It has your happy side of love, and then it has your bad side of love. Like, it's very you know, two sides of the coin-ish. It has its good side, it has its bad side, it has everything that love has to offer. It has deceit and it has cheating, it has lies, but yet it has passion and bliss and seduction, and I love this deck. Coming in at number 8, we have the Spellcasting Oracle deck, and this is by Flavia Kate Peters. I love this deck. I use it so often, especially with my clients. This is one that I'm always drawn to when I'm doing like client readings, especially like generalized readings. But it looks like this. The backings itself just is one of the things that really drew me to these cards. It's so gorgeous. We have like the pentagram here, and then we have, it's just like surrounded in like nature and all these pretty, beautiful, calming colors. It's just so pretty. But the fronts look like these, like this. The illustrations are gorgeous. As you can see, this one is New Beginnings. Sorry, they're flipped all. This one's Protection. It's just so beautiful. Lighten your load. Passion. Fertility. Like this is a deck that I reach for often when I'm doing readings. It's so beautiful. The illustrations are just so gorgeous. It's so colorful. And these are one of those oracle decks that, like I said, it tends to be more on like the lighter side of things, which once, you know, it's good to have those lighter side of the things. Those lighter side oracle cards. It's so cute. Boundaries. I have Justice. You know, this deck doesn't tend to have too much of like the harsher aspects of oracles. This is more like the lighter, fluffy side of the oracle decks. But it's so cute. I love this deck. This is one that I reach for often. And right now, being at $13.80, it's amazing. The reason why it's number 7 and it's not more up there on my list is because this is one that I just got like not that long ago, even though I do use it all the time now. Okay, so coming in at number 7 is the Quantum Oracle by Sandra and Taylor, and it looks like this. This is a 53 card deck, and it does come with a guidebook. I love this deck. This is so cute. Like, this is another one that has, most of these cards are very light and fluffy, but it has both sides. You know, like we have energy cards, so, and it tells you what each one is for too. Like this one's cycle cards, these are intention cards, these are people cards, you know, and then we have the loving woman, and then for another people card we have kindred partnership. Like, it's one that's just so, I love this deck so much. This is one that I use when using with the tarot and then a few other oracles. It gives, again, just very in tune, very in-depth messages and meanings behind it, and I feel like it's very compatible and goes very well with the tarot. It goes very hand in hand. Got New Beginnings. As you can see, the illustrations are just absolutely gorgeous. Behind a Mask. What is this one? Great Achievement. The Honoring Path. This one I know because I get very frequently in readings. Angels of the Four Directions. Another one that I get very frequently in my readings. Deserving. So that's coming in at number 7, the Quantum Oracle. Coming in at number 6 was the Spirit Animal Oracle by Colette Baron-Reid. This is like one of the first oracle decks that I got back in like April. I want to say that I got this deck back in March or April of 2020. So this is the backs of them. So we have the Fox Spirit, which is Sink on Your Feet. We have the Lizard Spirit, Dream the World into Being. We have the Skunk Spirit, which is Know Your Worth. The Armadillo Spirit, Set Healthy Boundaries. The Koi Fish Spirit, There Is Always Enough. The Spider Spirit, Make Your Dreams Real. So they're huge. These cards are huge, but they're absolutely beautiful. Now, later on in the year, now that we're at the end, I don't really use them as often as I used to. But back when I first got them, this was like the deck that I was I was pulling daily from and like taking advice from on a daily basis. Coming in at number 5, the Butterfly Oracle by Doreen Virtue. You're not gonna find these online, but if you're lucky, hit up your local Barnes & Noble or Books A Million or Metaphysical store, and they might still have a few decks by her. Because as you guys know, she like converted religions, so she doesn't read oracles and all that, or do oracles and all that. She stopped making them. So, but I was able to find them at Barnes & Noble, so there you go. These are oracle cards that I love. They're butterflies, all butterflies, and they're called the Life-Changing Oracle deck. Gold sides to them, but as you can see, they're already like kind of flaking off. Doesn't matter though, because this deck, you can tell that even though I just got them in July, this is a deck that I use in pretty much every reading that I do to clients. Not in every single reading, but most. Heavenly Signs. This deck really, really vibes with me. Because like, and then I use this on everyone because, I mean, who hates butterflies? I mean, of course there might be people out there that do, but it's very rare. Come on, they're butterflies. So we have new exercise program. We've got spiritual growth, which is what I went through at the beginning of this year, and I feel like a lot of us have. They're very easy to shuffle. Number 4, we have the Numerology guidance cards. So the backs look like this. These are cards that are very simplistic. The illustrations are like pretty much non-existent. It's like the same illustration in every single card. But this is a deck that I really started to vibe with when I started using it, because I noticed that it would just go very hand in hand with the other messages and the oracle cards and the other tarot cards that I was using, and it would just make this really big, beautiful message and really tie it in together and beautifully and really done well, that I reach for these cards pretty much almost every time I have a reading, a client reading. You may have even seen them here on my channel. I believe I have used them here. So that is the Numerology Oracle deck. Right, so coming in at number 3 is the deck that is by my girl. I don't know her personally, but I do read her book, and I love it so much, and I love her so much for creating this. Yasmin Boland. She is the one that introduced me to like the moon phases and the moon cycles and all that, and I became obsessed. Her book Moonology is just like the perfect, if you want to get started with like moon phases and stuff, that is the perfect book to start off with. Yasmin Boland created this deck, and it is called Moonology. This is a deck that I got back in, I want to say, April of this year. This is again one of my first oracle decks. And then the fronts have like the different moon phases. So it's Show the World the Real You, full moon in Aquarius. Oh my gosh, I love this because I swear I shuffled these. I feel like I love how we're getting more Aquarius vibes because we're in that Age of Aquarius. Yes, I love this. Bring love into the situation. New moon in Aquarius. Love this. The energy is going momentum, the waxing moon. A new romantic cycle begins, new moon in Libra. A time for healing, the balsamic moon. Luck is on your side, new moon in Sagittarius. And I love this oracle deck. The illustrations are gorgeous. I am one of those people that is very obsessed with the moon. I love the moon. The moon is like literally my fiance like makes fun of me for it. He's like, your Lord and Savior, the moon. Yeah, that's what he says. I love the moon. I do. So that is it. That is number 3. Coming in at number 2 is the Energy Oracle deck by Sandra and Taylor. So the back looks like this. The box looks like this. And this is another oracle deck that I got back in like March or April. I want to say like April. If you're going to start with oracle decks, this is one of the first ones that you should get, and I got it, and of course I Love it. I still love it. I don't use it as frequently because the Quantum Oracle kind of took over for it. So they look like this. This is another Oracle deck that I love because it has both sides of the coin. Both sides of the coin. It has like the ones that you would consider more negative cards, but because life is both, you know, life throws both at you. You know, I feel like it's very important to know both sides. Not only that, but it also has chakra cards, which I love. So we have this card, which is all tied up. And even like the cards that are more like a little bit more on like what's considered the negative side are not like scary looking or anything like that, or anything too intense. So, like this one, for example, we have hostilities, but we have this like good looking Hercules vibe. He gives me Hercules vibes. Do you guys remember that like 90s show, or Hercules with like Xena? Like that's what he reminds me of. We have indecision. So again, the illustrations are beautiful toward romance. We have action, man holding a coin, the thinking woman. We have deceit. This guy gives me Rumpelstiltskin vibes. We've got strategy. That is number 2, and lastly we got number 1. Okay, so coming in at number 1, it is a deck that I still reach for pretty much every time I have a client. I don't really see this one being used. I think I just found it online. I don't even think I've seen any YouTubers that I follow anyways use this deck. But that is the Madame Endora's Fortune cards, and this is by Christine Filipak. This was published back in like 2003, you guys. This gives me very traditional, very like traditional psychic-y vibes. It has that very Renaissance, Middle Ages type of vibe. First of all, we have this backing. The cards are pretty flimsy, but I feel like it's a very good size, very easy to shuffle, and this is a deck that I use all the time. This deck likes to make friends, and it has a lot of similarities with other decks, and it's like, oh, hey, you and me have the same thing on it. Cool, double whammy. Double the message for this person. That's why I like this deck so much. We have the Harlequin, true feelings are being masked. Air, seek a union of mind and spirit. The Unicorn, good fortune and friendship. The Wyvern, your secrets are safe. Have Medusa, jealousy leads to downfall. The Seer, follow your intuition. The Hourglass, time is of the essence. The more you know. Highly, highly recommend it. This doesn't get the credit that it should. I mean, it has like, I feel like a little bit over 4.5 stars, but still it only has like 514 ratings, which, come on, like it deserves so much more than that. I love this deck so much, especially if you're into like the whole medieval type, Renaissance, classic psychic vibes. That's what I call it. I don't know, I'm weird. Anyways, you guys, that is all. I hope you guys enjoyed this video.